Alrighty, what do we got today? A fully random kingdom. I see Tomb, that's always fun. When you trash a card, +1 victory point. Plenty of ways to trash things here. I see Sentry, Steward, oh, Grave Robber, Secluded Shrine, and the thing I noticed just in the middle there, Way of the Mouse is Scrap. So any action card in this kingdom can be played as if it were Scrap. And so every action card here is a trasher. And Scrap has a lot of, I think, decently, generally fairly wheel spinny interactions where like you can trash a silver, take card action and gain a silver back, which normally is just cycling. But in this case, every time you do that, you're scoring a point. So maybe that's where this is going, is just build a deck that scraps a billion things a turn for a bunch of tomb points. Who knows? Looks like everything else here is also present. Villages, we got Wealthy Village, Farmhands, Scepter, Draw. Draw is actually a little bit limited. Steward's Draw, not the strongest draw of all time, but like Steward plus Farmhands is the lab. There's also Wishing Well, which you could line up with Sentry. Probably not too likely to activate otherwise because you're going to be playing with a diversity of cards. And then in the Odyssey's pile, there is Distant Shore, which is a laboratory that gains an estate. That's fine because there's plenty of ways to trash estates here. So Villages, Draw, already looked at trashing, and then plus buy. Wealthy Village gains loots, which 2/3 of them have plus buy on them. And Grave Robber can gain things, and then Sunken Treasure, again from the Odyssey's pile, can gain things. So everything we need to build an engine, good chunk of alt VP. Probably, I think, you just get deck control and scrap a bunch of things, and then I think the end game, if it doesn't 3-pile, is probably going to end up being Grave Robbers. And Grave Rob Wealthy Villages into provinces. You'd even regain them. You wouldn't be likely to get loots off of those if you're getting them in the action phase, but no biggie. How to open? It is really pleasant having every action card be a scrap, because you can just open with whatever you want here and then play it as scrap in the first turn. I don't think Steward is better than Scrap. Like, Steward can trash 2 compared to Scrap trashing 1. But if you're trash 2 with Steward, you most likely have 2 coppers left in hand, which is, it looks better if there's good 2s, which there aren't any. Whereas trashing 1 thing with Scrap and then getting like a horse and a silver off of it and then buying a 3 sounds like a lot better value. So I'm thinking probably, I mean, Steward's still fine because you can use it to hit 5. I'm thinking open with 2 things that help you spike 5, and then on at least one of those turns, 3 or 4, you buy a Sentry, and the other turn you use the other action card as a scrap to kill an estate. So probably Patron on 4 seems good. And the 3 still could be Steward. I would just be likely to play it for money rather than play it for trashing in most hands. Could also be Wishing Well. Wishing Well is like a 100% guaranteed draw if you find it in your turn 4 hand, because you'll know what the bottom part of your deck is. And it's still fairly likely draw if you find it turn 3, because you just guess copper and you're like almost 70% likely to be right. Old Map, which seems like a generically fine card to have in this kingdom. Again, it's most likely going to be scrap anyway. Gives you access to the Odyssey's pile. Yeah, maybe it's just Old Map. I would hate it if the bot took an early Old Map and rotated the pile before I got one, because I would like to have some control over what card is visible at what time. I think most of the cards in this, actually probably all the cards in this pile look pretty good. Even Voyage here looks pretty nice. I think Voyage, it's a lot of value for a non-terminal 4-cost card. Like, just stuff you could do in your turn. You could scrap something, you could play a Scepter, you could play Grave Robber. There's a lot of stuff you could do just playing 3 total cards. It's usually worst when there's kingdoms where you're carefully setting up your turn. Like, you're playing duration draw cards to set up the following turn. And then you play your Voyage, you take a 3-card turn, and then you don't set up the next turn, and then your deck falls apart. But there's nothing like that here. So yeah, I think everything in the Odyssey's pile seems good, which makes me think I probably want an Old Map. Did not hit 5 here. I can most likely hit 5 next turn if my Old Map and my estate are my starting hand. So probably just scrap now. And coin, gain horse. And a second old map. A wishing well, a steward. Let's go wishing well. Okay, yeah, so this hits 5. Actually, in my head I was thinking I just play the old map, discard the estate, draw a hand of 5 coppers. Even better than that, I can just go scrap, card, coin. This hits 5 and trashes an estate. This hand leaves much to be desired. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's take another wishing well. So my bottom 3 cards have what? 2 coppers and a patron. I think I'd rather just draw the patron and then play the sentry into the discard, because I know that it's going to hit 2 junk cards if I do that. There's an estate down there that I'd really like to see if I could. Nope, did not manage it. Yeah, probably worth playing the horse then to draw the estate. Silver horse, got 5. Second sentry. I want to get wealthy villages at some point, right? Because I want plus buy. So I'm either buying a scepter now, or I buy sentry now and get a scepter next turn. And I'm just taking 1 turn off of the sentry thing. I could also get a sunken treasure next turn, perhaps. Actually, voyage. Voyage sounds pretty nice here. Alright, new plan. I'm taking a voyage. I've not paid all that much attention to what the bot is doing, but it looks like it's doing reasonable things. That's like a very early grave robber to me. Grave robber seems good in the in-game here, but I don't know about getting it at that stage of the game. I'll play the horse. Rotate. I should have paid attention to what's left in my deck. Think I have a copper left? Yeah. And does it make any difference whether I play Wishing Well to draw the copper, and then it doesn't make any difference. I was contemplating play the patron for money and then scrap a copper with Wishing Well versus play the Wishing Well to draw the copper and then scrap something with patron. It would make a difference if I wanted to hit 6, but I don't. And both of these get me to 5, just fine. Sunken treasure. Okay, so I'm definitely playing the sunken treasure. I could play the old map to rotate the pile before the bot can get a sunken treasure. I mean, I wouldn't mind a second one, but it's not a high priority for me. So I think I want to do that. I could play patron just to get a villager. I could scrap a copper. I think scrapping copper sounds better. Don't need the villager much at the moment. Wealthy village won't activate here because I don't have the copper or the silver in place. I think I just take a distant shore now. I think this is going to be a long game. There's a lot of points to be gained. I don't think piles are going to deplete super rapidly because most of the stuff you want a bunch of is not super cheap. And there's a lot of thinky decisions with Wishing Well and whatnot. This could be a second. I've got a sentry down there. Nope. But I got a coffer. Yay me. Sentry, and what's the last card? Old map. Probably doesn't make too much difference which of those I take in that case. I guess sentry because I don't have an easy way to click on old map. And it panned out. It's 50-50 either way. I'm gonna scrap that. Do I want to leave Distant Shore on top? I can't gain enough of Sunken Treasure now, but I could potentially gain that on my Voyage turn if I find Sunken Treasure then. I think that's good enough reason to leave it there. I also don't want to get back around to Voyage. Oh! I'm just not noticing the bot doesn't even have an old map, so it has no control of this pile. I think Voyage has a lot of value, and so I think I want to deny the bot the ability to get to Voyage. Even if that means giving it... Like, all the cards are reasonably good, but I think I'd rather the bot buy Distant Shores than buy Voyage. I think I take a coin here. The 5s look good. And a horse, I suppose. And at least one wealthy village. A shield. I could buy a second one here. I could buy a Distant Shore. I think that sounds better. I won't draw. Distant Shore seems like probably the best draw available. Okay. So I'm playing Sunken Treasure, playing Shield. I think I'm just going to scrap the horse, regain a horse. Go coin, silver, horse. And on 4, let's take a farmhand, set aside a wishing well. What is this grave robber doing? What's in the trash anyway? There's some decent stuff in the trash to gain. The bot has rescued my horse from the dead and then killed it again. I see how it is. Lots of grave robbers, intriguing. I like grave robber as a card. Wishing well. I'll play that normally. And sentry? Nope, no luck. There's no way to draw exactly. Actually, there's a way to draw exactly one card here, which is I could scrap the silver, which I suppose I have to do. Go card, coin, horse. Shoot. I was really hoping it wouldn't be the sentry because I knew there was a sentry down there, and I don't recall offhand what the last card is. That's not the right hand. I hate that the log doesn't work. Did I trigger a shuffle here? Okay, so we're fine. We're fine. I just need to see this much. So wealthy village, sunken treasure, horse, wishing well, shield. This is what I was talking about. This game potentially being kind of slow. It's the old map, isn't it? I think it's the old map. Name other cards. Where is it? There it is. Huzzah. Holding off on playing my sentry until it's going to see 2 cards in the discard, so I can guarantee that it trashes some good things, or it trashes the bad things. I would have loved to kill 2 coppers and scrap the estate, but I guess not. Okay, Voyage. I misclicked that, and the bot's not going to let me undo, because that's technically info reveal. I was trying to play that as way of the mouse, and I guess I missed the button. Oopsie daisy. guess I'll take a Grave Robber now. Steward seems good as well. I can gain a Steward off a Grave Robber though. I'll take not a Distant Shore, a Wealthy Village, and a Steward. This is not such a great hand for a Voyage turn. You don't really want to see your actions in your draw on the Voyage turn. You just want to find a hand straight full of payload. Card action. Card action, horse. I guess card silver horse. I would rather draw a card than not, just because a bunch of my draw was on the top there, so I'd rather get further through this shuffle and back around to the Distant Shores. I never did get a single villager off of that patron. The reason I'm thinking about it is, like, right now I'd love to do something like play Wealthy Village, play Grave Robber, gain Steward to top a deck, draw it, and play it. And I don't have quite enough villages to do that. The bot got the last Distant Shore, alas. I certainly would have liked having that card. I could have bought it. Probably had 9, I would have bought it. Province. That's a very early province, isn't it? Estates will run soon, but I don't see any other pile that's running out. I should be keeping better track of what's in my deck. There's so many cards. I guess I'll just leave those on top so I don't have to think hard. There's something down there. Patron is down there, right? No, I drew the patron dead off of the scrap. I think there's one more Distant Shore down there. No, there isn't. There are 2 in my previous hand and 1 in play. What's down there? Another Wishing Well, maybe? Nope. A Wealthy Village? I thought I had a Wealthy Village in my Voyage hand. Or not Voyage hand, in this hand. I guess I had 2 in my deck already, huh? I thought I only had 1 in the deck. Well, I'll just play the horse normally because I need to draw now. And now I got enough villages to gain the Steward. Card action, gain a horse. Plus 2 cards. I found the Voyage, which is, I think, the most important thing. I don't want to leave the Distant Shores on top, I don't think. They're not good cards to have on a Voyage turn. And can I kill all these estates this turn? Hopefully. Okay. I guess I'll take a Secluded Shrine. It's probably just going to be scrap food. Or scrap itself. But I've played everything else there is to play. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, I don't think, to save a card for the Voyage turn, so I'll just play that. Take another Wealthy Village. And another Steward, probably. Okay. Scrap a horse. Coin. Well, do I need coins? So I could just play silver shield and buy a 5. I do coin silver horse and buy 2 stewards. I don't think I need that much. I would not mind buying a farmhands. I like setting aside stuff on the voyage turn for the real turn. Maybe I do. I mean, card coin horse is not likely to find me more money. Maybe we'll go card action, horse, and then just scrap a second thing. No. Scrap the silver. Coin silver horse. Set aside horse. That all works out. Okay. Oh, you know what I should have set aside? Now that I'm thinking about it. It probably made sense to use the puzzle box to set aside the sunken treasure. Because, I mean, gaining a secluded shrine isn't doing a whole lot of good for me. And I could have set it aside on the voyage turn, where then could have gained whatever I wanted. Unfortunately, the bot has gotten thinky. I think the bot gets thinky when it thinks it's losing. And that's not a good sign. Because while the bot, I think, is very much losing, it is nowhere near to ending the game. And so, if the bot's going to be deep in contemplation for the next, 6 turns, we might have a while. Let's play this as scrap. Card action, gain a horse. Take that last estate. Play this so I can hit the wishing well wish. Okay. Straw with the stewards. It'd be nice to get to the point where I'm overdrawing my deck, because then you can do stuff with Grave Robber gain and play. Scrap a horse. Card action, gain a horse. Card action. Okay, what's in the trash? A Grave Robber, I'll take that. Okay. Trash action, gain another Grave Robber. Card action, gain a horse. And how do I do this? I could trash this horse and gain something. I could gain something, draw it. So I could trash this horse and gain a 5 and gain 1 point. Or I could gain something out of the trash, play this horse and draw it, scrap the thing. It also gives me 1 point. I think that's better, because it comes with some other stuff to boot. They all cost 3, so it doesn't really matter which. So this also gets me 1 point. It also gets me a horse. And I get, I guess, a silver off of it. Just the 1 money. I'm getting the 1 money either way, so The answer is no. Set aside sunken treasure. And what? Scepter any good? Scepter seems decent. Just more wealthy villages maybe. Wouldn't mind more stewards. I guess I could also consider what if I buy farmhands, set aside, don't top deck that, and I buy 2 stewards. And this is better than setting it aside with Puzzle Box because farmhands plays it directly, and Voyage counts the number of total cards that you play from hand. So if I set it aside with Puzzle Box and play it from my hand, it counts as one of my 3 cards. But if I set it aside with farmhands, it does not. I just get to gain a thing for free. Take another Sentry, pairs nicely with the Wishing Wells. Just scrap a horse. Card. I still want to hit 4. 4 is the key number. I like buying farmhands. So I'll go card action, gain a horse. And this one can be coin silver horse. Or maybe it's card coin horse. And then I can set aside one thing with the Puzzle Box and also farmhand something. Yeah, that sounds better. I think the strategic thing for me to do is basically just to keep spinning, because I'm scoring way more points off of these scraps than the bot is, and I think I can outrun whatever it's going to do with provinces. But in the interest of time, it might make more sense for me to just try to empty provinces next turn. I don't think I can do, and maybe the bot takes a bunch of provinces here, I could do it this turn. Probably not. But I think it would not be out of the question for me to empty provinces on turn 13. Take a few grave robbers, a few more draw cards, find a grave rob, all the 5 cost cards into provinces. That probably does like 4 to 5 provinces, and the bot probably has gained at least 1 more since then. Not since then, by then. How do you still have coppers in your deck? That should not be. Wait a second. How does the bot only have 6? What is in your deck? The deck is basically nothing? What are you doing over there? I don't know how their deck is this thin. And it is both devoid of stuff, but yet also still has a copper. Curious. Okay, I'll play this one normally. Distant Shore. Let's just draw some cards. Don't really want to play the Sentry until I've got a Wishing Well in hand. There's one. I don't think I'm doing 5 provinces this turn. There'll be 3 grave robbers plus 16 money. That sounds like it's probably a lot. I'll play a horse normally and see what we get. I've played all my distant shores. Let's just play this just in case and we'll see. What's that bottom card? Is it a wealthy village, perhaps? I don't trust myself, but I see one wealthy village in my hand. I see one wealthy village in play. I've gained 3 of them because I have these loots. I haven't trashed any wealthy villages. I think it's a wealthy village. Okay, well let me just see if I can do 5 provinces, because it'd be lovely if I could put this to bed now. So I gotta have 3 actions, and then I grave rob wealthy village, sentry into 3 provinces, and then I would need 3, 6, 9, 11, 5 more money. That sounds pretty darn doable. Okay, so we need actions, coin, gain a silver. Let's draw said silver. So now we're at 3, 6, 9, 13, 15. I think that does it, doesn't it? Go ahead and scrap this. Action, buy, coin, silver, horse. There's no point taking plus card. They resolve top to bottom in the order of the card text. And so I couldn't gain silver and draw it. It would do the draw first and I would draw nothing and I would be sad. Let's just do that. And then I just play this horse. And 3, 6, 9, 15, 19. Sure, I can afford to scrap the silver for 1 extra point. Okay, well thankfully there was a pilot after all, because I think the bot was starting to take a bit on its turns. Why did I buy a copper? I don't know. Oh yeah, I was trying to buy an estate and the estates were out, and for some reason in my head that meant buy a copper is the next best thing. Okay, yeah. So on the one hand, I think the grand strategy of this kingdom is pretty straightforward. You just got all the normal stuff for an engine. There's trashing, there's draw cards, there's villages, there's buy cards. You just play all those and do your thing. And then I think the main payload is just trashing tons of things, and then you're naturally getting points off of that, and you're also doing productive things with your scraps. I think Voyage ended up being a very good card here. It's getting a lot of value on my Voyage turns, partly just because every action is potentially live as a scrap. So I'm very happy to be the only one with Voyage. That seems to have made a difference. I don't think the bots deck made a whole lot of sense. I mean, Voyage aside, where's your stuff? What is your deck doing? The Grave Robber is a good in-game... Grave Robber is just not a good card, period. It's definitely a little bit green, but when it's good, and I think this is the kingdom where it's good like in the in-game for an explosive finish, like we saw here, taking 5 provinces 1 turn. But it's not very good early, and the bot took it very early, which I think was definitely a mistake. I don't know how it sells a copper. Something went wrong there. So while the overall strategy, I think, of this kingdom seems pretty clear, I think there's a lot of individual decisions that are thinky and not obvious, getting the wishing wells right, playing all the random stuff in the right order. That I think makes this kingdom actually kind of tough and time consuming. But I think it's a nice one. I enjoyed it.